All right, well, let's start focusing on the game. We got Rogue and Alpine. You lose this one, you
There we
are
go.
out of it. So we'll see if Rogue can start their long road back to the grand finals or if Alpine will get the upset here. Boys, take it away.
Turtle, we did it. We got through the whole death segment without James asking us a single analysis question.
That's right.
We got away
And
with
that's important because really anything we would have said probably would have been irrelevant because we know absolutely nothing. But
Oh well, I mean,
that's the good thing. We don't want to have to put ourselves in that pressure situation. We're already in the lower bracket. All the pressure is on these teams. It shouldn't be on us. You lose here, you go home. Rogue just came off of a 2-4 loss against SSG, but they were looking good, Jorby. They were looking good.
yeah, and I think that Rogue, when you watch these two teams play, they bring out the best in Alpine. Where lately we've seen Alpine play much more defensively than we've seen them play in the past. Rogue kind of force teams to dance to their song, right? And their song is always speed, is moving the ball as fast as possible between players, hard passes, and so Alpine can respond with that. But it's all about being able to handle as much as you can dish out, and Rogue can certainly dish a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean this offense is something that you never want to underestimate, and that is also with the speed that First Killer brings. But it's the same thing with the other side in terms of Alpine and what they can bring to the table. There are moments of greatness where they will explode out of their own half. The only question is, can they keep it at that certain level of volume, that speed, that aggression the whole time? Magic Bear is going to start this one out and answer my question.
Yeah, Magic Bear getting the first go here. It's just a nice touch around to the corner and avoiding that first Rogue defender, and then second man expecting at some point for that ball to be challenged or to be able to push forward.
And that was a very tough angle as well from Magic Bear. You notice that he got the shot as soon as he was able to read the bounce, and so does First Killer off the backboard. And this is just pain for Alpine. You get the first goal, you're feeling good, then bam, the kickoff drops off your backboard, and you can't have a response.
Yeah, and that follow-up, it's basically just a jump ball. It's all dependent on that first launch. If you've got a little bit more speed than the other guy, you win. That's all that came down to off the kickoff. But First Killer won't be able to push the ball down any farther. You know, Taroko's been the big talking point on Rogue. Obviously, Turtle. Hang on a second.
Oh my
Look at that
goodness.
shot.
Oh
I mean, that came off for free on the rebound. Turo had all day to look at it.
Yeah, at this point, we're questioning the Alpine backboard defense. Percy, he got the full boost. Boost was not a question for him. He just very awkwardly approached the ball in the corner, and the whole car was pretty much going the opposite direction. Couldn't get the read. Nobody also was on the backboard because you assume somebody's going to get a touch there. Rogue, they're able to punish on the mistakes and the poor positioning out of Alpine. 2-1, and they get that early lead. And I was just going to mention, Jorby, I feel like I've got you know, a new connection to First Killer. I'd say after the crew battles, I feel like I understand the play style that much more. You know, after the CTF match.
What was it about First Killer? Was it the comms or was it the positioning and capture the flag, Turtle?
I'm not even gonna lie. I genuinely have a better appreciation for First Killer's car movement and car control after playing capture the flag with him for a couple of games. The way this man is able to move down the field and recover with his car, even when he doesn't have boost, it was incredible.
You literally just said, hey, I had First Killer on my team. Now I have appreciation for him because he totally carried me and helped me win the game.
Exactly, though. Would that not make your appreciation go through the roof for him as well?
And you know, anyone who carries me is my favorite person.
Yes.
So
yes.
How about that? This has been pretty tight, though. No one really able to win the challenge. I say that, but then Gordon gave it right to Rogue. They should have got scored on right there, and they did. First Killer put it in again. That's a 2-goal lead here for Rogue, but that was preventable.
And this is a fantastic turn from Turo. You notice whenever he got that initial cut in rotation, he saw there was a lot of space over there, which is why he took that turn, was able to then get a follow-up off of First Killer's shot, and keeping that pressure alive for Turo and not rotating back to get midfield boost. That's what started that play. Fantastic awareness. Rogue, this is that dominant showing and performance that we expected. They started strong against SSG. You know, we were talking in the green room, Jorby. That probably would have been a sweep potentially had Rogue not won game 2 and started out strong, but they continue that momentum, and this time it's not against that huge threat of Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, the difficult part for Rogue, well, I don't know how that ball goes out of the net, but Percy just fell on it, and it was knocked away. But Space Station, because they're so good at controlling the ball and playing at different paces, they were able to find their length against Rogue pretty easily that way. I feel like Space Station kind of own Rogue in that sense, just because they have 3 players who are masters of control on the pitch. Rogue are getting there, but they're not quite there with Taroko, I think. But for Alpine, they don't have that same amount of control, and so Rogue get away with a lot more. They get away with more space, and get away with just pitching the ball where they want it. They get more room on the pitch overall. I think that's the only point I really wanted to make there. They get another goal here. I mean, they ransacked them, dude. They spent the whole time on that whole time I was just rambling, like on this half of the pitch.
Well, you can see how difficult it is to deal with the Rogue offense. Everybody wants to get a turn in rotation and find another touch. You've got Turo, who just did exactly that. First killer, you have to deal with his mechanics. And with Taroko is that third man striking well and keeping the pressure in, it's nearly impossible to get this ball out of your half. And if you even do get that far, having another step prepared to get a counterattack shot on net is going to be so difficult because you're starved out. First killer's being aggressive. He's taking your boost, and so is Turo. What are you going to do, Jorby? The only answer is to either try to win that first 50 or outpace them on the challenge. Both very difficult.
Oh, poor Jordan. He has not been having a good game, and then as soon as he gets a good look, he gets demoed from behind. But he gave up a pass, or he ended up passing it right to Rogue earlier. Hasn't been nearly consistent enough in his 50s in the first game. Not the best look for Alpine. Rogue pretty much dominated them in every phase.
Yeah, and I mean, Alpine has always had a history of struggling against Rogue. I mean, they had kind of given a couple of wins and losses, back and forth, exchanging blows previously in grid matches in the first fall split when they had Kronovi instead of Taroko on Rogue. But then they come out here, obviously, with the upgrade that is Taroko as that third man, playing more consistently. These aren't the most surprising results, but I still want to see that explosive gameplay that we know Alpine have, because for them, I feel like it's a matter of keeping that switch on instead of, constantly fluctuating between, okay, maybe we'll stay a little bit passive and not be as aggressive. I want them to be full out, honestly, ball chasey on the field as much as possible because they've got those mechanics.
Yeah, they felt disjointed, and probably started with the boost game being stolen, but then Alpine were never really able to adjust off of the boost game after that. And Rogue just kept beating them to every single ball. And they never had any speed behind their challenges, never had the correct angle. I think the only thing that was going to save them was a reset at 5 minutes for game 2. But I think Alpine are certainly still in it. This one definitely caught them off guard. Jordan, I think he's the big he's the big point for Alpine. I think if he gets some of his touches shored up, then Alpine will fare a little better.
Oh, and just awkward reads. I mean, thinking back to the first 2 goals that Rogue got, it was a mishit off the corner, or actually a whiff. I don't think Percy even got any contact on the ball. And also, the initial goal for Rogue was from the kickoff immediately after Alpine had scored. There was nobody on the backboard. They caught him off guard, and it's like within the snap of their fingers, all that momentum Alpine had managed to build in the first minute or 2 was just gone because of those simple mistakes on defense.
Well, I believe that Alpine have the tools to come back in this. And I picked on Jordan twice now, but overall, everyone on Alpine needs to step up. They got 1, maybe 2 progressions down the field that looked really good for them, but otherwise, there was 0 offense there from Alpine. So maybe game 2 gives us something different, Turtle.
Yeah, and Magic Bears is 100% the X factor in a lot of these goals for Alpine. But I actually think this roster looks the best when a Magic Bear is going for more of a mischievous approach. He's getting demos, going for bumps, trying to get these awkward passes out into the midfield. Rather than him being that offensive force that's always taking shots, I want him to fill in the gaps and let Magic Bear and Jordan do most of the shooting. We see there Percy, how deadly he can be when he's on target just off the crossbar, but eventually the defense of Rogue will fall. Alpine start out strong yet again in game 2.
Well, this one works out. First killer tried to set up his teammate for a follow-up. Jordan picked him on that one, after Jordan missed his double, or I think he tried to get that one, but Magic Bear was right in the way. So Percy, who almost nailed that shot, arguably should have scored that one there, but they picked it up anyway. So that's a big start for Alpine. If they can't do that. Now it scored at all.
This is incredible for First Killer to stay in the midfield. Turo gets that pass out. Look at First Killer. He's staying in the middle of the box. A normal human being with a brain that just wants to play safe would rotate out in that situation 100%. First Killer doesn't care. He has confidence in his third man and stays in the middle.
I don't care that First Killer did let go of his controller for a couple of seconds. Did you see the speed that Turo had, dude, to get up to that initial challenge?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, I'm only messing with you, man. But it's great. You're totally right. Everything you say about First Killer.
No, I mean, well, now you're talking about the speed. Can we talk about the pass as well?
Yeah.
That was
we're not talking about speed. This is North America.
No, you're right. You're right. My bad. Yeah. My bad. We gotta get ourselves together here, Jorby. This is unacceptable.
It's okay. Alpine have gotten it together, so we can too.
I mean, have they though? This is how game one started. We love what we're seeing within the first 30 seconds. They get that goal, but then they kind of fizzle out because Rogue so easy and fast to respond.
But look how Alpine are playing this time. They're just trying for the quick, power touches, whether it's to a teammate or towards the wall, and you force Rogue to play a certain way that way. And that seems to be what they're trying for, rather than always going for control, as Jordan does right here on this push.
I like that play, though, from Jordan, where he's able to beat one defender. I mean, you rinse and repeat that type of tactic, you're going to keep opening up a lot more space for your team. Sometimes it doesn't go his way, but Jordan, I appreciate that. I think slowing down the play, for the most part, is in the benefit of Alpine, as long as First Killer is on the receiving end. And Taroko, the receiving end of that pass from First Killer, still pretty dominant with these midfield hits.
Hang on, Magic Bear goes up to the corner because Jordan's in net. Jordan got screened, and I don't know. Jordan was a little close to that post for my tastes. That's just not the right part of the net to be in, right? Or was he expecting Magic Bear to push it? I really don't know why that ball goes in.
I think it's strictly because Jordan hit the brakes in net. That ball, whether it was incredibly predictable or not, you need to get out of the net and try to find a challenge. I think Jordan was waiting for an early shot and wanted to play it safe by staying in net. But we all know that Rocket League is all about the momentum you carry whenever you are rotating. You stop for a little bit, especially against a Rogue offense that is incredibly fast. That could be your demise, and it was there, and it might be another one. But fortunately enough for Alpine, they managed to squeak away.
Alpine letting too many
For how long,
in.
though? For how long, though?
Taroko had this red before he woke up this morning. Look how far he just okay, I know. You're dunked way long ago, dude. That was so clear to him. It was literally no question. That was Taroko's goal before he ever hit the boost button.
And that's good aggression from Taroko as well to push forward. Even if he doesn't get the dunk to the goal, he's still creating pressure. Overall, very confident approach to the ball. Taroko, that third man, he's a guy that you would feel comfortable being behind you, Jorby. And knowing if you're First Killer that you could do all the things you want with the ball chase as much as you can, and Taroko's still going to be holding it down.
It would certainly be comforting to have someone, anyone, First Killer, turn Turo. No, Taroko, sorry, Taroko. You're not quite RLCS level yet. NA Scout Reddles has determined that he's not quite RLCS speed yet. So sorry, Taroko, you don't get to be the comfortable player. You don't get that choice. Nope.
Yeah.
You can play well. Doesn't matter, man. You ain't ready. You ain't ready, Taroko. Just kidding. Taroko's definitely ready, man. He's looking
now
great.
We need the smug 1v1 match between Reddles and Taroko. This is.
Dude. I'm sorry, Reddles would probably crush Taroko.
Whoa, where's the faith?
That's just hang on, we're in the middle.
Heck?
They could be getting eliminated after this match. We should save that kind of talk for later.
I'm just saying, you brought it
still
up.
Early on, so we get away with
being prepared for RLCS. I mean, it is a best of 7 as well. This is something. But it's the first 2 games, Jorby. I'm a little bit tongue-tied here, trying to figure out how Alpine want to play against Rogue, because there's so many good looks in the beginning, but things just start to trickle out on defense, and
Well,
they don't really have a lot of answers for the speed.
That's kind of what I mean. Is like, why is the play breaking down on defense? And sometimes it's like the one goal that went in, like they were all in position on defense, but then Magic Bear just went the wrong way. Or he was just expecting Jordan to have the clear in net, but Jordan wasn't even sitting in the right spot in net. And the ball just goes by all 3 players, and it was in. So it was like, what's going on defense? The miscommunication, whether it be the car language or comms, either way, it has to be figured out. Because I think that Alpine have a better chance in this series than we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because all of their issues just come down to communication. Like they keep getting blown.
Yeah.
Their rotation keeps getting blown out for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's the huge positive to take away from Alpine, is that the mistakes we're seeing out of them on defense, it's nothing that you should be sounding the alarms for. These are very apparent mistakes that kind of scream out to you whenever you're on defense, especially as a player, because it's just simple mechanical issues that we saw in game 1 now come out into game 2. They're just a little bit slow on rotation, and that, like you said, that comes down to communication mostly, because you're trying to tell your teammate when he can go out. If you're behind him rotating in, we saw the hesitation with Jordan as well, staying in net a little bit too long instead of wanting to push out to get a challenge against Rogue. And that's the fear that Rogue want to instill on you. They want to take the ball from you, constantly take the corner boost, and go back and forth and just wait until you make that mistake, because they love chasing that ball to the corners. They love having Turo go for bumps, first killer doing all his mechanical goofs and gaps that he can get on the field. And eventually, if Alpine do bite into that and just be a little bit more hesitant or have that fear, that's when it's over.
Yeah. And look, there's no other way to say it, Turtle. Alpine just have to hit the ball more.
Oh,
hit
he's
the
done
ball.
He's
hit
done
the
it.
Ball. You know, we come up here, everyone's like, man, isn't, Johnny Boy's the greatest analyst? Achieves, they just know everything about Rocket League. But, like, if you really listen to Achieves and Johnny try to teach you how to play Rocket League, everything that they say can be boiled down into 3 words. Hit the ball. All right? That's it. You don't need no fancy micro 1v1 situations.
Wow.
Oh, he took his car at a 32-degree angle and missed his flip timing by 0.23 seconds. Yeah, Chiefs, I hear you, but guess what? He just didn't hit the ball. Maybe if you hit the ball. See, my analysis is great. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is what we need.
You know what Percy
did it.
See what happened when Percy hit the ball? It went in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've cracked the code. If you're trying to rank up in Rocket League, all you got to do is hit the ball, and you'll become the next Percy. You'll be able to get the follow-up off the backboard, and all you have to do at the end of the day is hit the ball. You heard it here, folks. First, folks, it's over. It's over.
But they scored first last time. Hang on a second.
Wait.
They've scored once every time.
How many times I think every time Alpine have scored, we've had a rogue goal within the first 20 seconds after the kickoff. So far, we're looking solid. I think the next 10 seconds, if Alpine hold on, this is already an improvement.
Cool. Yeah, but my big question is how Alpine handle the extended pressure on defense again. How many times do they let the ball just rebound off your backboard?
Right.
Like, not having somebody positioned there. And it's like, yeah, you can want to play up and aggressive and try to challenge every ball all you want, but if the ball keeps leaking by everybody, then somebody's got to play a bit more relaxed. Right? Oh, that's a nice shovel to Jordan.
Yeah, that was
still got a chance,
fantastic.
though. He still got a chance.
Oh, and we see what Jordan has with the ball. Not too much, but this look at the ball movement too from Rogue whenever they do transition out. What I like from them is the difference in plays that they can afford to really go forward with. I mean, we've got Rogue who decided to keep this ball low, dribble a lot. You've got different options with first killer on that dribbling aspect, but then you pop it into the air and you've got Turo that we saw in the first 2 games come out with incredible speed to outpace and absolutely destroy anybody who's trying to match him to that challenge.
Ooh. Good transition. Jordan needed a better touch, though. Nobody else from Alpine was ready or in position. And it's going to... Well, Taroko didn't get a good touch there, so that's actually going to negate things. That could have been pretty bad for Alpine. But what? First killer just punched the ball out from Magic Bear, and Alpine got to start again from the corner. Like, just when they get the push. Like, they got that first... Oh, no, Jordan. What?
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Turtle? Analysis.
I am terrified, but it's okay because this is the only analysis we need. Hit the ball. Percy hitting the ball here. This is what we like to see. They're making contact with it. Magic Bear now into the midfield. And First Killer is demoing and being so frustrating. The last thing you want to do is have him feeling confident on the pitch to do things like this and take you out everywhere. If you give him the space, he will make use of it. 2 minutes left. They've managed to hold on to this defense, or on the defensive side, excuse me. But the question is, for how long can they hold down against First Killer, who seems to be demoing you left and right?
Ooh. Push back again, too. This is the pressure moment. That's a great 50. Look at this. He sinks these. Oh, well, don't play defense. That's no fun, man. I'm here for sick double taps. Nice save. Oh, look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I thought for sure that was in.
I saw that play develop, and I saw the speed Soroka hit it with. I thought it was over. I really did. But now we're getting
the over right here.
Magic Bear. Yes, this is the Magic Bear I want. The man who is demoing everybody on the field, being annoying, and taking the boost. He fits in so well to that spot because Percy and Jordan will constantly hit the ball, like you said, with the analyzing. But more than that, they nail the shots on net.
Yeah, they hit the ball into the net, and it's beautiful. That was excellent though from Magic Bear.
Yeah.
I did think when you were like, this is the Magic Bear I want to see. I want to see him demoing people with those, massive bear shoulders coming out of his stomach.
Yes, the bear shoulders.
Yeah. That should be the new Rumble power-up. Instead, they should just reskin the punching glove into just a bear arm. Yeah. Good start for Alpine, though. Good start for Alpine.
I was trying to process
it was a lot better
that.
Overall, Turtle. Percy, the big man with the big plays. Obviously, Magic Bear created that last one for him, but Percy had that double. And Rogue are trying to stay in the match, but that one went away for them. Turo also got demoed, and they just were able to beat Rogue to the punch, Turtle. I feel like they just played a little bit faster. But it's not over yet. It's not over.
Yeah, and you talked about beating people to the punch. Look at First Killer there with the flip. And then turning, Percy hesitated a little bit. Didn't want to go forward. Obviously didn't expect that insane touch from First Killer. What a play to also turn. Why is First Killer doing that? Why does he have the space? I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know why he does. He creates it himself, but that was a nice little move from Jordan. And that gives Percy plenty of time to find the next challenge in midfield. As long as Rogue stay on the orange half, Alpine will secure the Game 3 victory. But First Killer has something to say about it with a launch downfield. Bounce with under a second left is irrelevant. And Alpine stay alive. 3-0 down surely would have meant that they were going to go under, but there's some life on the mountainside.
For sure. And we saw the Magic Bear I had been begging for. We got it. It leads to a couple more opportunities and goals on net. Percy striking well as usual. There was a little chance there at the end. We saw First Killer. That was an outstanding play. First of all, I love the way that looked and the little slight touch to keep to himself. Just as long as you're denying most of those opportunities from First Killer, which they did. They got the first goal and were able to stay solid and hold it down on defense, which is everything we wanted from Alpine. Then how they transition out, you use Magic Bear the best way you can. We're looking at a much better Alpine Esports, and hopefully we get a game on our hands. So that goes the distance, Jorby.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I think that, like I said, in those first two games, man, the Alpine that we saw, it was just these little miscommunications that were helping Rogue put the ball in the net. And all of a sudden, those miscommunications are fixed. They didn't let the ball down for free on defense. And how many times did the ball sail past the entire rotation that game? Like none.
Yeah.
So I definitely think they got away with some. Rogue, they hit the crossbar a couple of times, but just because they hit the crossbar doesn't mean that they could have scored, because Alpine made it difficult to score on net. They forced Rogue into those half chances.
Yeah, exactly. And it came down to a matter of speed, which I mentioned earlier. That's really something that Alpine can match with this Rogue squad. They have those mechanics. They've also got a solid save in the backfield from Percy to start off game number 4. We'll see if Rogue force match point or if we get a tied up series.
Yeah, I'm curious if Alpine can keep this up, because what we see with a lot of teams against Rogue at this level is, you know, they can match Rogue's speed for a couple of games, but it's mostly overwhelming. Alpine aren't your typical up-and-coming team. Well, that's a nice catch and dump down by Taroko. Or by, excuse me, Turinturo, and Magic Bear will send it right back.
Oh!
Beautiful from Jordan to put it right in. That's exactly how Alpine want to start. I believe they've scored first in every single game.
I love when we mention the speed of Alpine and the fact that they can beat and outpace Rogue, and they do exactly that, scoring first off of that speed, off the corner. You got a solid follow-up. Alpine, keep up the aggression. Boost is so important, but if you can manage to control those midfield boosts, pick up a couple of extra pads, they are surely going to force this game to go the distance.
And especially a confidence booster, since after those first 2 games, we haven't seen, we've seen Naya mistouch out of Alpine. A lot of their approaches have been solid. There hasn't been panicking, people caught in no man's land. So I think Alpine are definitely in the right headspace right now, but more defense to play against Rogue. And this has been a pretty good rotation too from Rogue. They know exactly when to pull off too. A lot of the times they'll just pull the whole way back if the midfield boost isn't there, or if there isn't anything of value to take. It's a little higher risk for them if they're sitting, you know, on like middle to low boosts, sit around in midfield and hope that like the ball's low enough or slow.
Oh my goodness.
Get to it.
Oh, and Percy rotated.
So close, don't leave.
Why?
Leave.
I'm so sad right now. That play looked
So is Magic Bear.
clean. And then this happened. You needed to keep the pressure forward. Percy pulled off on the rotation, was slower, and then now he gets demoed. He has been punished for his sins. He's taken out the field. Rogue tied things up, all because of that simple mistake in midfield where you don't want to be confident with your challenge, but they get it off the kickoff, so I'm just ranting for absolutely no reason.
Such as Rocket League. You know, it's funny, Turtle, because that was how I felt. You know, I felt your energy there on the rant. It's like, don't leave the play. You can't do that. And that comes down to the miscommunication again, right? Like Rogue score again off of an Alpine miscommunication because somebody's not talking, somebody's not saying stay, or, you know, I'm playing it back, playing it back to you, or something. Whatever these people say in their comms. Everybody's different. Dude, seriously, if you listen to every comms video, they're all completely different. Like, and they use different terms. As like some of them are totally illegible and just screaming. That was a nice move. Oh, calculated. 100% drawn up in the math lab like this, okay? Look, first killer, he took calculus and got an A+.
Okay.
All right? Did you see that lineup right there?
Yeah.
All part of the plan. All part of the first killer plan.
We also got to talk about the awareness from first killer to continue to follow up all of his first touches. He did this previously in the game that they lost against Alpine with, I believe there was only 20 seconds left, but it was still a pretty goal. He got a first touch and then turned instantly on it, knowing he can outpace and pretty much get a free shot on net. He does the same thing, gets the demo, knows there's space that was opened up by himself, and has the awareness to keep going. Magic Bear sniping to the left side of the box. That is what we need from the boy. I wanted him to be more aggressive and demo, but I'll also take a couple of these shots too.
Let's talk about Percy's positioning as well. Following the right side of Jordan as he was pushing it forward. It was tough to tell without being on his perspective, but Percy was in the perfect spot for Jordan's challenge, which forced it to the right. Sorry, yeah.
Did Magic Bear use his backflip there? I want to run that back.
Again. I have to look again. Yeah, the shot was great, but I wanted to give the praise to Percy where it belonged, because that play doesn't happen without his touch. In his positioning in general, because if he's playing in the typical spot, like, you know, behind Jordan, he doesn't get that sort of touch or beats the defender to it. Oh, he does it again. Oh, they're killing him. They're killing him.
Oh my goodness. We've got Percy in the midfield, pops it out to Magic Bear, who is on point so far in this series. Once you mention his name, he's going to show up. Magic Bear, lovely 2 shots from him. They've got a secure lead now, 2 minutes left, just need to hold on with the defense, make sure first killer doesn't get those follow-up touches, and you should be set to tie up the series.
That's twice now Rogue have gotten caught on the goal line or their back wall. trying to defend one of those shots. And they're getting outboxed right now, Turtle.
Yeah.
This is what Alpine has always been capable of. And sometimes it comes out.
Ooh. Ooh,
It
okay,
still looks scary at times, though, doesn't it? They still.
How dare you.
No, good save, Magic Bear. It's still going though, and
This
first
is what
goal
happens,
doesn't
Jorby.
happen. Yeah.
You talk about the capabilities of Alpine, and then all of a sudden you get scared on defense, but it's okay because the communication had been there for a little bit. There was slight hesitation, but it seems like they're adapting more whenever they do make mistakes. And you know, everybody's not just panicking as soon as one player misses the ball. They're able to stay a bit more composed. But the demos from Turo now, this is where Alpine could struggle, but misses on the third man rotation coming out from Rogue. They can't get a shot. And Alpine are casually just going to take this one out. They love all this time that's been wasted off the clock, Jorby.
Yeah, and Magic Bear, perfect spot for the clear, too. Works Rogue's entire rotation to the opposite side as well. Wow. Magic Bear pushed that ball down the field himself. Rogue couldn't figure out who should be going for the ball, trying to put it into a better spot along the back line. And the rest of Alpine just sat back. They're like, we're up by 2. There's not a lot of time left. That's just more time off the clock again. It's really good from Alpine right now, Turtle. Like, they look completely different from game 1.
They've turned it around, absolutely. And Magic Bear, I mean, can we talk about this man enough? Whenever you mentioned him starting carry from his own half and then dribbling all the way forward, he does that so frequently. Constantly bringing the ball down, and then you get a solid flick. Continue to follow it up after. Look at this man, stalling in the air. He's just doing it by himself, and Alpine tie up the series.
Alpine, take it, and we're all tied up, man. It started pretty...
Wow.
I was pretty convinced that Rogue were going to sit in the driver's seat after game 2. It's like Alpine, they're probably going to keep having these defensive issues. They're not going to get it completely figured out, and Rogue are going to overwhelm them in that respect.
Yeah.
But like they've cleaned it up. They've completely flipped it around. So 2-2 definitely tells the story. This is anyone's match.
Yeah, and for Alpine, it feels like the gears are starting to connect a little bit more. We've got Magic Bear not only going for the demos and the crazy dribbles from his own half, he's striking and hitting everything 100% accurate on net. The man is a beast. We've got Jordan doing a pretty good job on defense. I actually noticed him get a couple of last-second saves, but I think the mechanics of Rogue have slipped up a bit. There were some times where I'd see that last man back rotate and miss the shot, not get a proper hit. Things a bit off. Maybe they didn't expect to be matched with their own speed against Alpine, because that's what has always worked so far against this roster. The question now, Jorby, is what do Rogue need to change, and how do they need to adapt against Alpine, who is constantly beating them in the midfield?
They have to not give them so much space in midfield, Turtle. Like, how many times did Alpine get a solid transition? I think Rogue were there to contest them on a couple of them, but point stands is they weren't in the right spot to be able to challenge those pushes. The transition, where Rogue are typically one of the strongest in North America, they got beat in that respect. And whether that was to the boost game or to optimistic positioning, I think it was a mix of those things. It wasn't exactly one, like, painting Rogue. Maybe they got a little comfortable. Who knows? You're not comfortable anymore with it being 2-2.
And what I love also about the previous game for Alpine was the fact that Percy had hesitated, if we all remember, on that passing play and decided to go back. That's what cost them a goal versus Rogue. But he didn't let that affect his mentality or his confidence. That was pretty much the only time we saw a huge amount of hesitation out of anybody on Alpine. It was just that one play from Percy. Typically when that happens for players, it's a trend that continues throughout the rest of the series. You hesitate once, odds are you're going to continue that unless your teammates can somehow back you up. Taroko, he's backed up by First Killer, and also Turo with the double tap 50. What a play from all three.
Wow, that 50 from First Killer. That's the only spot Taroko could have gotten to that one. And he pops it straight up on that challenge. I mean, GG after that. Turo's double was nasty.
How many times are we going to see that too out of Rogue, where Turo is the most aggressive player going for a 50, and you've got First Killer so aggressively positioned in the other team's box that if Turo, all he needs to do is win that 50. It's going to squeeze out to First Killer, who then dips it off to Taroko. A routine play for Rogue, but it is incredibly effective so long as Turo does get that 50.
And you talked about how dangerous it is if Turo starts finding consistency in that first man spot, and if he has First Killer following him up. Well, it's going to be one of the deadliest duos in North America, if it's not already.
Yeah.
Well, they could definitely work their way up to an argument for the deadliest in North America. I certainly think they have the talent for it, and they look like it at times. But they're having struggles right now on this last push against Alpine. They're getting one or two more touches than them, and the shot was a little wide from Percy, but this is really well done from Alpine. And the boost spawn right on Magic Bear. That's going to serve Alpine's purpose even more on keeping this ball locked in Rogue's territory.
Yeah, it was a good read from First Killer, though, with that save. He pre-jumped a bit, assuming Magic Bear was going to hit the target like he has been the whole series. Or I think it might have been Percy, actually, who was taking the shot. Was able just to float a bit above the net and react in time to get a save. Almost got an unreal angle from Turo. Both of them nailing the crossbar, putting a dent in it. And Rogue not able to get that security goal.
No, that's not the first few times the Rogues hit the crossbar today. This match has not been favorable to them in terms of accuracy. Because it certainly should be 2-0 right now, Turtle.
Yeah.
That first shot that was off the crossbar, that was the most open Alpine's net had been in the last 3 minutes. And now Alpine have killed the attack again. It feels more and more like Rogue are gonna need insurance. Alpine, it just, like, they're sniffing a goal right now, but it is back to the blue half. Demo on the backside might kill their rotation, and it does. Percy's pulling off. Oh, you can't
double tap. Don't do it to him.
No!
He's the man you got to watch out for, Jorby, out of Rogue. Initially, I thought it was always going to be First Killer. Turo, though, I think he poses the biggest threat to the defense of Alpine, whether it's the challenge game or finding the opening on the backboard to hit those double taps. Again, the accuracy, not ideal, but if Rogue keep up the pressure, eventually you're going to find a shot like that that sinks in.
Alpine, they desperately need one. Gone a lot of time without being able to score, and as good as the pushes have looked, they really haven't been able to get a solid shot on net. Look at the massive fake from Jordan, was sick. Couldn't quite get there, and Turo shakes his way off one defender, and here come Rogue for insurance.
My.
Oh, but they are allergic to the net.
Yes, now we've got a shootout. This is my favorite part in best of 7 specifically. You've got both teams with immaculate defenses where the only thing that's going to break them down is either going to be a big demo play or something highly mechanical, because even shots like that from Percy are going to get saved from the defense.
Here comes another pass. Oh, no, he lets it drop in front. Magic Bear gets it dumped back in front of Percy.
It's not going in. Not good enough. We need more mechanics, Jorby.
Need more mechanics. Well, Alpine have kept the push up. Rogue have done good to stint them, though, and that's killed some time. Magic Bear got the demo. He tried to wrap it around, and it's still available for Alpine if they can wrap back around it, but time is out. They got to move downfield now. That's not the challenge they want.
It's the full boost, though, for Percy.
That's the bounce they want. Nothing here is what they want.
No way.
Percy wants this. Percy still wants this.
Oh!
Why? What? I don't understand this game and how this can happen. How in the absolute world of Rocket League does this happen? In BTS or any Rocket League event whatsoever, and absolutely, how does that go in? How does it go in?
Percy almost saved the ball from going in the net twice. He missed the flick, which was wide open, and then was driving out of the net and got a touch on a ball that was going in, but somehow, it was destiny for Alpine, Jorby. It was destiny.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe Percy just got that goal.
Okay.
Percy can't believe he just got that goal.
Calculated. That's when you drop it in the chat.
How do you spell calculated? P-E-R-C-Y.
Yes.
And Alpine are trying to steal Game 5 from Rogue. Wow.
Oh, 1v1 Turo. Oh, what a touch from Percy to come back on the rotation, stay with the ball, and make it easier on the 1v1 situation with Jordan in the backfield.
Oh, up high again. First killer. He's got the boost. All down. Almost a god. Nope. No chance for godhood yet. It's on cooldown. That was a close one, though. He hits the crossbar again, though, Turtle. Does he hit the crossbar again?
Oh, my goodness.
No! Turo just shoveled that one into the net. Rogue secure the game.
First killer, it's not even off the crossbar. He hits it to the side and tries to hit, Turo, who actually found the angle. How do you get that? How do you manage to squeeze that one in? It's not even waiting for the ball to bounce out, but squeezing it with the ground. Turo, he's I think he's level right now with the mechanics of first killer, and that is not something that you can easily do.
Well, the real question is on a scale of 1 to tilted, how tilted would first killer have been had they lost that game off that
Dude,
0-second goal?
that was I don't think we've ever seen a buzzer beater that looked so unintentional and yet intentional at the same time.
No, it
I
did not look intentional at all,
No,
Turtle.
it
I'm
kind of
sorry.
did
No,
though. It
no, it
kind of
did
did.
not. No, it did not. I will not. No, I will not let you put this
Listen,
out into
listen.
the Rocket verse. That was not. No.
Well, the only unintentional thing was Percy driving out, right? That's the only unintentional thing. But everything else looked
Oh wait, so
great.
you're saying it was intentional because he held the accelerate button?
Yes, exactly. I'm also saying that he had the recognition to dribble the ball. I'm a little bit sad, and I was very upset he didn't get the flick because he launched that thing. It was literally a moon flick, okay? Then he's driving in the net, comes out, has no idea what's happening, and for whatever reason, the ball decides to pop off of his noggin, and somehow we get a goal.
I hate when the ball does what it wants. Ball has a mind of its own. Some say that there is an egg inside the ball.
An egg
It's one of the
inside ball.
terrible. Yeah, it's one of the terrible eggs. One of the terrible experiments the eggs did to their own people.
I've never heard of that, but that
Yeah, it's what gives the ball its incredible bounciness and durability. Like, have you ever seen a
Right.
scratch on that ball? There's not a
No,
single
I
scratch
have
on that
not.
thing.
I don't know what an egg would do though. Like, how would an egg being inside of that? Like,
Dude, there are eggs in the
somehow
stands watching
create a defense.
flying cars hit a ball around. You tell me what eggs do.
But are they watching flying cars or are they in the cars themselves?
No. That's not the conversation. That's something different. We're
No,
not
this
talking
is the
about
conversation.
that part.
Well,
No,
you
that part
already
is-
brought it up. You don't bring up
No.
eggs and not talk about who's controlling the cars. Okay, that is.
Leaf has the whole theory about eggs and the driving cars and something. I don't remember what that part is. I just want to know what the eggs do when they're not playing Rocket League. You know what I mean?
I have no idea. I think they just wait and sit around for us to tell pro players to just hit the ball. I really think that's the thing.
I don't even think the eggs care about the casters. That was a nice challenge.
It's probably facts. It's probably facts. And Rogue, they don't care about us either because they're only focused on keeping possession in the offensive half and making sure Alpine are starved out. They've had solid boost control. It's the first time we've seen them on defense, and the one time they have to deal with Alpine, they concede.
Dude, Alpine have not rested or have not been rested from this match at all. They have continued to strike first. They've done it in every single game so far. I mean, man, this is why people like Alpine so much. Like, Alpine has like Charlotte Phoenix level hype behind them before Charlotte Phoenix never won anything, you know? Like, Alpine gets so close, and then it's like teams like Rogue who do take the next step, right? And then you watch Alpine play well against them, or like against the Pittsburgh Knights. But this will keep happening where they get caught on transition, where Rogue are killing them again.
Yeah.
There's so much space for Turo on the
Exactly.
turnaround.
Nobody was there to try to challenge Turo to force a weird mistake. Alpine, we've got two players rotating back, and instead of forcing Turo in an awkward situation, they would rather react to his flip to try to catch him off guard and too far forward than anything else.
Oh, man.
But it's all tied up here, Jorby. The key for Alpine is you get those opportunities on offense, and while your defense might be a bit slacking in a couple of areas, they look out of this world when they are flowing in that transition game and can hold on to their rotation.
You're just slower. Magic Bear, I'm kind of glad it was on his or Percy, excuse me, at the very end, where you see Magic Bear up here, just late. The last 4 or 5 touches, you could count them in a row. Alpine were literally a step behind every single time. It's like, Rogue just got you beat. They know exactly where you are. And while they might not know your exact boost total, they know you hurting.
Yeah. Well, and it could be a prioritization of boost from Alpine, where they want to pick up pads and go for full boost pads and make that a more important task than challenging the ball, which is a very huge issue that a lot of teams frequently make. It's very easy to fall into because with how fast Rogue play, you want to have the boost to meet them in the midfield, but sometimes all it requires is just your positioning and that threat of you being there. Whether or not you can get contact isn't as important as making Turo, in instances of him being in the midfield dribbling, making him flick early and getting rid of the ball.
Yeah, Turo's been playing like a madman in this match, though,
Yeah.
hasn't he? I mean, his speed has been pretty crazy. And Turo has not been, you know, absolved in a lot of Rogue's issues when the issues do pop up. Unfortunately, of course, he gets he's just rolling into the net as this one goes in for Rogue. And why? Why the double? Turtle, this is why. This is why I can't buy into Alpine, man.
What do you mean?
This is why I can't buy into them.
That's a negative outlook. Listen to me.
That's a low pressure situation. Why are you doubling?
Listen to me. That, while it's a low pressure situation, it's an unfortunate error. It is one that can be easily fixed, though.
But there's been more than like 5 unfortunate errors,
okay.
Turtle.
You make a great point here. But when you're on offense, does any of the defense ever matter? I don't think so. We've got Magic Bear and a demo from Percy to seal it.
I deserve that one. I absolutely deserve that.
That was great. That was great.
I mean, to be fair, Alpine punished first killer because he tried to play really speedily off the backboard there, but that's a tough one for him. So yeah, definitely credit Alpine.
Yeah, I think Alpine are just a little bit too entranced with getting counterattacks where Rogue overcommit, because it's so satisfying. You're like, huh, you idiots, you thought we were slow? Nah, we can outpace you and also get this counterattack from our own end. But if that's all you ever go for, sometimes it's not going to be enough, and you won't be able to get that many opportunities against Rogue, who are pretty much putting everything in.
Oh, Magic Bear tried to drop that ball back down in front of the box. It was tough for him to wrap around it. Let's see the push here for Alpine. They don't have a lot just yet, but that challenge actually is pretty good. Watch, they might have something right here if Percy can get that ball out. But Jordan wasn't anticipating the touch. Oh, hang on. Look at this.
Okay.
Here they come. Oh, man. The challenges are just so good from Rogue. Oh, and it was a nice catch and idea.
Percy,
no, but Jordan got demoed.
Oh, I believed. Alpine look very well thought out on offense. It's just when they get stuck on defense, things are all over the place. This one bouncing off the post all the way up. That is, I wanted to say a good bounce for Alpine, but it turned out to be lucky for Rogue because they could have gotten a double tap opportunity, but instead opted for the backboard pass. Nobody's there to follow it up, but the pressure's still mounting on the side of Rogue.
Alpine need this now. They need a push. Rogue have kept them locked here for about 30 seconds, and here's a couple more to add on top of it. Breakaway opportunity. Percy quickly running around on the dribble. Here it comes, Turtle. Do they have it? No, it's over. Rogue have done it. They've taken down Alpine and survive in the bracket.
Oh, but my goodness.
Not for lack of trying from Alpine. That was an entertaining match to watch, and I'd love to see Alpine try again against Rogue. There's a lot to love about this team, and I say that every single time I cast Alpine. Like, I feel like there's something else I take away from them, being like, man, if they just start stringing everything together consistently, this is going to be a dangerous roster.
Yeah, and you know it's a good series whenever we're coming down to the final few seconds and you still think there's hope for Alpine. We saw what happened to them in the previous game. They come out here, can't get the buzzer beater, but it was a close game. Their offense looked fantastic. It's just those simple mistakes on defense they got to work on.
Well, Alpine are out, but Rogue survive and move on in the bracket. The rest of that bracket coming up after the break.
Welcome back to the Rocket League Summit 2. We just saw Rogue beat Alpine pretty well. I mean, there was that 0-second goal. That was a pretty surprising goal, Turtle.
What was that? It was so chaotic. Normally we see like a big flick from Percy, and then he's coming out, and I thought it was going to be a disaster because he saved it himself. But for whatever reason, the ball managed to go in. We got a couple more seconds. Rogue didn't let it get to him, and overall, I think we just had a more balanced gameplay out of Rogue. I think Alpine's offense at times looked a lot superior than Rogue's, but their defense is really where they started lacking and showing some signs of weakness.
Jorby, I mean, you were front row centered. Do you think defense a concern, or do you think their defense really is on point, like Turtle's saying?
No, I mean, I think that, look, there's a lot in that game that went right for Alpine, but like the defense is less of an issue and more of a symptom of the real issue on Alpine, which is the communication, because that's breaking down on both sides of the pitch. It's like pushes that
Yeah.
they clearly have advantage on, they pull off of, they double commit in low pressure situations that they shouldn't be. They position optimistically, or there's just a misunderstanding about who's going for what.
No, there's
And
that 0-second goal.
that was
Calculated, right?
this
That
is
was
this is Rocket
calculated.
League, right? Yeah.
That was
No,
amazing. I don't know
100%
though, because you
calculated.
talk about communication, Jordan. It's like that could be definitely, like you said, the main cause of it. But sometimes even when the communication is on point, it could just come down to that specific hesitation from Percy. Like in that moment where he turned back, there could have been a call for him. Whoever, I think it was Madrid, passing back. There could have been a call saying he's getting him in the back, but maybe Percy alone didn't have the confidence or really the lack of hesitation to go for that ball.
But Rogue, I think many people expected them to bounce back. Space Station, the favorite. Rogue had to match up against them first round. And now Rogue, they beat Alpine. I think we saw that come in. And they'll play the winner of Sonics versus E United. But to talk about the Alpine win, we have the G-man himself, Corrupted G, joining us, the coach of Rogue. Gabe, congrats on that win. And I just want to get your opinion on the day so far. You lost to Space Station. You beat Alpine. How do you think today's going?
The Space Station loss is definitely not how we wanted to play, but I think against Alpine we came back strong. So if we keep looking like that, I think we'll have no problem beating. Is it the winner of Sonics United, right?
Yes,
Yes,
winner of
that's what
Sonics
you
and
got.
United. And also, Gabe, you used to be teammates with Chrome, right? You used to be on the same team.
Yeah.
Now you guys are competing against each other as coaches. What has this whole Rocket League experience kind of been like these past few years?
I mean, it's been pretty cool. I mean, like we like probably have like that rivalry, even though it's not really talked about. Like we still have that rivalry with each other. So it's still pretty cool to face off against each other as like two top teams. But yeah, being a coach has been definitely different experience so far, but I've been enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, man. Rogue keep looking better and better. Like no matter what tournament we see them in, I really want to know. Like, give us, if you can, like a little bit of insight on how you guys work and prep in terms of trying to obviously get Taroko up to speed, but also in just developing that rotation and the three individual talents you have.
Well, when we picked up Taroko, like I knew right away that he was gonna fit like really well with our current playstyle. Cause like when we had Kronovi, even though Kronovi's a really good player, it just like always kind of felt like we were always changing things week to week. There was always like a problem we had to fix every single week. But right now it feels like Toroko's kind of like a perfect fit. And he's like more of our defensive rock, and then he lets Turn and First play the play style that they want to play. So like everyone's playing the role that they want to play, which means everyone's always comfortable. So it's been a pretty easy transition so far, and I'm really liking how we're playing.
That's actually really interesting because I was just about to ask you a question that talked about that kind of dynamic. So a lot of times I noticed in that game we had First Killer staying very aggressive whenever Turo would go for a 50 or a double tap hit off the backboard. Was that just instinctual for all these three, or had you previously told Taroko to stay back a little bit more and let First and Taroko do that duo up front to give Taroko more shots coming in as the third man?
Well, Toroko personally loves playing third man, so it's pretty natural for him. And then First Killer obviously loves to be aggressive, as everybody knows. And then Turn kind of just like the filler player who like does what he has to do, sets up Turn or Toroko when he has to, and just fills all the gaps. So
So just natural chemistry. You guys,
yeah,
the roles kind of combining.
exactly.
So you guys play the winner of Sonics and E United. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Who do you think you're going to be playing in the loser semis?
Um, honestly, United has been playing pretty well lately, but so have Sonics. It's probably gonna go to like either game 6 or 7. I think we're gonna play against Sonics though.
Ooh, I tend to agree. Well, Gabe, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
All right, thanks, guys.
What is this? I tend to agree.
I tend to agree. I
I
do.
on his prediction. You're like, Gabe, you're a smart guy. Like, hang on a second, James.
I'm just saying. I tend to agree. Gabe, he's been around since before RLCS.
Yeah,
true.
Corrupted G has been around forever. I remember in the preseason running into him in ranked, and he was grinding since day one, and obviously getting to the top, competing at Worlds, now coaching it. Gabe is one of those players, just like Chrome, who's done it all. So I always love having him on any broadcast and hearing his thoughts. But Turtle, you're another player who's really had a lot of experience,
Right.
going through playing and now casting.
best results,
are
but
you going to start
it's a good
coaching now?
experience. You know what? I don't know if they could handle the ultimate wisdom that I possess. No, I'm just kidding. I think coaching is very a different aspect of the game that a lot of people don't talk about. Because when I was playing, I personally always wanted to coach. I played from the first through the fourth seasons, and coaches weren't really that big of an aspect at the time. But now seeing these guys come in, and especially viewing Gabe with this young team, taking them under his wing, it's such an awesome dynamic, and I think it's something that we undervalue as a community because these coaches, they've got such a big impact on the rosters.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just helping. Like Sizz, that's why that guy gets paid big
Yeah.
bucks, Jorby.
Oh yeah. Sizz gets down into the nitty gritty.
Hey, he brings the hype. All right, that I don't like
He
the
brings more
sarcasm
than the
I'm
hype.
hearing.
I'm
hearing
not
some
being
sarcasm in your
sarcastic,
voice.
Turtle.
No.
I am not being
That's no knock on
sarcastic.
Sizz. Sizz
You
is
dare
Sizz is great.
disrespect him?
Did you?
Look, if you can, when you talk about the personality Sizz versus what Sizz can bring to
Okay,
the table, look,
okay.
you don't make it to the top at the pro level if you don't at least know a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
Sizz
Come
is
on.
bona fide. I mean, he's a world
That's
champion.
true.
I'm saying he needs
Definitely.
his title. He
Right,
needs his
Oh.
right. James
He needs
is
his title.
already repping it. Okay.
Wait,
Well,
Sizz didn't get the title?
What? Jarby, you have a lot
Yeah.
to learn. We're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, we've got Sonics going up against E United. The winner will be playing Rogue. Stay with us.